Hey guys, my name is Kieran. I'm from a company called HubSpot. Just as a show of hands, who in the room has heard of HubSpot before? Okay, cool. So lots of people. So we're a Boston-based company. We recently opened up our European headquarters in Dublin, January the 7th. We are 30 employees big in Dublin, 450 in Boston. We have plans to grow to 60 people or maybe more by the end of this year in Dublin. So I'm really here to talk today about inbound marketing and how inbound marketing can be your competitive advantage in terms of driving qualified traffic, leads and more customers for your business. And I really wanted to start off with this slide. So this is the new inbound marketing methodology that HubSpot have recently put together to answer a lot of people's questions about inbound marketing, and it's available to. It's available to view at this page here. If you want to go and view that on our webpage. Is that really annoying? I'll keep going. So this is really the inbound marketing methodology that we put together. This is the HubSpot approach to inbound marketing. It's really the tools and processes that we use for the full inbound marketing life cycle. The different stages of inbound marketing. So can everyone hear me at the back? If I don't use the mic. You guys hear me at the back? Yeah. Yes? Cool. So most companies and businesses, when they think about inbound marketing, they really think it's a top of funnel activity. So they think it's people putting content out there to attract people into your site. And that's really a big part of inbound marketing, but it's really not the whole inbound marketing story. But inbound marketing is really creating persona-driven marketing to engage your dream customers in the platforms or the channels that they're most accustomed to. So it's really about driving more qualified traffic to your websites, converting that traffic into leads, and those leads into customers, and those customers into promoters for your brand. And that's something that's not really talked about much. And we have a program in HubSpot called Delighting Our Customers, where we try to turn our customers into evangelists and let them be our promoters. And inbound marketing was really designed for the way that your customers buy today. The way people buy has changed dramatically over the last 5 to 10 years. We don't purchase goods and services like we used to. Sorry, this is going forward by itself. It's kind of weird. And I wanted to go into an example of a persona. So this is someone that we sell to, maybe someone that you sell to, and how they purchase goods and services today. So most purchases still start with a need. That really hasn't changed over the last 50 to 60 years since anybody's been selling goods and services. The difference is when Dave, our persona, when he starts with a purchase decision, when he decides he wants to purchase a goods, the first place he goes to is Google. He looks to go to Google, he does his own research, he tries to figure out what are good options for him. And we know this is particularly true in Europe, where 65% of Europeans do some type of online research before they decide to purchase a good or service. And so when Dave has done that initial research on Google, the next thing he might want to do is he wants to reach out into the channels that he's built contacts in, the channels that he's built up a network of, and look to see what brands that they recommend, to see what content that they're sharing that's relevant to the need he has. And again, you guys are really early adopters of technologies, platforms. We see this time and time again. The Netherlands leads the way in terms of internet penetration for different brands. So for LinkedIn, it's the top country in internet penetration for reach with over 26%. So Europe buyers in particular have changed the way they purchase goods. And when Dave finally does make it to your site, he's done all this research himself. He's controlled the purchase decision. He's made it to your website. You need to keep in mind that he contacts your sales guys a lot later on in the buying process. He goes to your website, he wants to educate himself, he wants to stay in control, he wants to engage with lots of different formats, he wants to watch videos, he wants to read blog posts, he wants to read white papers and decide for himself, are you the type of company that he's looking for, have you got the type of products that he's looking for. And then when he decides to convert, how well he converts really depends upon what type of landing page you put together to fulfill his need. So, and apologies for this is jumping ahead by itself. So Dave really is in control. He's in control of the purchase cycle. And we as marketers need to figure out how do we build marketing that Dave loves, that engages in the channels that he's comfortable in. So we want to be a brand that Dave chooses to consume, rather than being one that interrupts what he's consuming. And that's really what inbound marketing is. Inbound marketing is the art of creating persona-driven marketing that's tailored towards the way your buyers buy today. So I want to jump into, so what are some of the tools that an inbound marketer has versus a traditional marketer? So what people would be accustomed to as having the skill sets of a marketer, how does an inbound marketer differ? And the first thing really is persona development. That's a key to this. It's a key to being an inbound marketer. So a good inbound marketer can figure out who Dave is. He can figure out what are Dave's challenges, what are his goals, and how he can fulfill them. And when you develop personas, your different buyer personas, when you map these out, it really changes the way that you market. So to give you an example, for HubSpot, we have a persona developed for enterprise marketers, and we have another persona developed for very small business owners. And the way that we market to these people or in personas is very different. So when we are marketing to an enterprise marketer, we really want to explain the how and the why of the topic. And the reason for that is because an enterprise marketer typically has a lot of internal stakeholders. They need to get a lot of buy-in. So they're trying to figure out how they can sell that vision in to all those different stakeholders, and they really need to understand lots of information about that topic. But if we're selling to a very small business owner, typically they are the team. They're a fast-growing business. They need to make decisions on the spot. They only really care about what's in it for me, how much does this cost, and do I have the resources to implement this? So if you can think, when we produce content for these people, we're going to produce it in very different ways. And there's lots of different ways to do persona modeling. And I used to teach persona modeling at a lot of workshops. And this is really a condensed version of how you can do this. It's a more simplistic way. You can get really complex, but it's a great place to start. You can simply start by just doing a brainstorm session. And depending on how big your company are, you can have like 7 to 10 people is a good number. If you're a smaller company, you can make that a smaller team. I think the key point to persona development is having cross-functional teams in a room. So marketers, we're really geeks, and we try to figure out who our personas are through data. And we look at data analytics and all these different things to try and figure out who we're marketing to. But if you have sales teams in the room, those guys are on the phone to your prospects day in, day out. They hear lots of different things. HubSpot align our marketing teams with our sales teams, so we all sit in the same area around our different personas, so we can hear the conversations going on, so we can get a feel for who we're marketing to. And then your customer support guys, who usually are like the forgotten team of the company, I kind of just put them in a black hole and say, you deal with all the shit that happens from our customers. But those guys have lots of interesting data about who you're selling to, because they're hearing all the different pain points. And then when you have some internal kind of data, we make assumptions based on that. You can kind of then look for some external data points. And the best way to do that is really to interview prospects through surveys, through customers. Take your customers out for lunch. No one's ever going to turn down a free lunch. Or you can ring these guys and then figure out, get some real world information to add to that brainstorm session. And then at HubSpot, we build actual personas. We write 500 to 700 words. We add a realistic photo. And we kind of bring these people to life and align our whole marketing sales team around them. And I've heard stories of brands who have built personas and made their employees take them home and have dinner with them and all these different things, that hire actors. So you can get really, really intense with this kind of stuff. And then of course you want to test and figure out, is this bringing in the right type of people, the right type of traffic? Is the traffic turning into leads? Is the leads turning into customers? And we iterate and test. And that's what marketers do. And at the same time, you want to figure out what kind of language keywords that Dave's using to search around your brand and products. What keywords do you want to appear for? What searches do you want to appear for? What searches are relevant to your brand? And this is the kind of tip that we use in terms of when we're developing those keywords. We bucket them into life cycle stages across the funnel. So what keywords do they use in the awareness stage? When they're really not product aware, they're not thinking of a solution, they really just have the pain point. And then what keywords do they use in the evaluation stage? When they actually do have a product in mind, they have a company in mind. So for example, for HubSpot, we may have a persona who first searches for how do I get more leads? And he finds us through a blog post, here's a little bit about our brand, and the next search he does is lead generation HubSpot. And this is really going to change the type of content that we map to each of those keywords. So the next thing a good inbound marketer does is develop marketing assets. So this is really the big thing about really inbound marketing. You know, your marketing team want to be developing assets that add actual value to your business. So traditionally, marketing teams, apologies for the slides, I don't know why they're doing that. So traditionally, marketing teams have been seen as like a team that kind of squanders budget. So you give them budget, and the sales team guy, you know, there's friction in most companies because the sales team think that marketers are only good at wasting budget. There's no real ROI. So you want your team to be seen as someone who produces assets that add actual value to your business. So if I'm a marketing leader today and I'm looking at my budget, I really want to be thinking about what type of assets am I producing that's going to add long-term benefit to my company in the form of things like traffic, social PR, links, leads, and sales. So all these different things versus if I just take that budget and shovel it into Google's mouth and spend it on display and AdWords and all these different paid channels. Am I really building an audience for my brand, or am I just renting that attention? You know, I'm not really building of anything of value. And this is really going to change the way you recruit. You know, the type of people you're recruiting today, are they the type of people who are going to build assets for your audience? Are they the type of people who are going to build assets for your personas? And that's really what you want to think about if you're a market leader. So this is one of our kind of top assets. And we're doing some of the launch parties in Europe over the last couple of weeks. A lot of people actually think that this is what our product is. And they ask me how do we make money because this is a free product. And this is really the power of having a really big marketing asset. So this is Marketing Grader. You can go to Marketing Grader, enter your website, and it will grade your website and how well optimized it is under 3 different categories. So top of funnel, mid funnel, and analytics. And it will give you back a customized report and show you how you can do better. So it's providing value for you as an end user, and you don't need to use HubSpot software to get value from this. You know, it's a real top of funnel marketing asset that's driving traffic into our site. So you've already seen this. It's going to be a surprise. But so these numbers go up and up every month. So over 4 million people have used Marketing Grader. It's a lot greater than that since I pulled those numbers about 8 weeks ago. This is great. It's provided great PR, links, traffic, all those different things you want a marketing asset to produce for your company, all those different things that add value to your business rather than just spending that in paid channels. We have 500,000 email opt-ins, so it's driving tons and tons of leads for us. But also consider the type of lead intelligence that we get from a tool like this. Like we have 4 million people who have graded our website and figured out what are their different pain points. And we can tailor our marketing, we can tailor the content we produce to answer those pain points and attract more and more people to our website. And that's how we create personalized marketing. But that's really an example of a big asset. So that's one of our best performing assets. It's a big tool. There's a product team in itself that offers that, and not everyone has those resources. So a marketing asset can really be something like the blog posts you publish, the content you're adding to your website, the videos you're doing, all these different things that are adding value to your business. And so anything that's really non-product centric, that really answers a pain point and attracts people at the top of the funnel. And one of my favorite examples is really from a blog post Dharmesh, a co-founder, wrote in 2007. And he wrote a blog post around how to do better in Google. This is just 12 steps. It's a 300-word blog post. It's nothing super advanced. That blog post generated over 500,000 visits. It's generated a ton of inbound leads. But 6 years later, it still generates a couple of hundred visits a day, a couple of leads per week. And that's really the strength of producing these assets. They provide long-term benefit long after the date that you publish them. So really anything you're producing that's really easy to find, can be found by your buyers when they need it. it's non-product centric and starts attracting people into your site. And when you go through this process and you talk to people, the biggest challenge they have is really a mindset shift they need to make, but also a resource shift in terms of how they're structuring their team. Because to make this work, you need to stop thinking like a blogger, stop thinking like a marketer, and start thinking like a publisher. So really, how would you be a publisher for your marketer, or your audience, your persona? You know, what type of things would you do if you were a publisher, if you were servicing your audience? What type of assets would you produce? And it really affects how you look at your budget. How would you spend your money? So you're going to spend 20,000 grand on a trade show where you sit in a booth, look depressed because no one's visiting you. Maybe hire some people to funnel people towards you, swipe some cards, they're totally unqualified, and feel kind of good about yourself because you've come back with a bunch of leads, but none of them actually wanted to engage with your brand. All they wanted to do was pick up some leaflets from already free swag, which we kind of call it, that you're actually giving away. Or do you want to spend £20,000 and build something that people actually want to use, that actually serves a purpose, that actually answers a need, that actually attracts people to your site, that actually makes you a brand that people want to consume? And that's really the key shift you need to make. So like even blogging as a marketing asset can have a huge impact if it's done right. So this is HubSpot's blog traffic. It used to be nothing. We're in Darmex and Brian Halligan were doing it. We have over 9 million visits last year. We generated 80,000 leads in January alone. The blog was in our top 3 sources of leads. So it drives real business value. 10% of people who visit the blog go on to visit HubSpot.com. So if you think back when I was talking about those life cycle stages, and we had keywords in the awareness stage and keywords in the evaluation stage, you know, we've attracted people through the blog who had no real knowledge of HubSpot, and 10% of those have gone on to visit our core site to find out what our products and solutions can do for them. And the blog converts at 10 to 20% in terms of converting people into leads. So most companies, if I go back to this, the reason most companies fail at blogging is for 2 reasons. They really give up too early. If you look at the bottom line, it takes 18 months to really start to see an impact in blogging. And most companies, after 6 to 8 months, and a marketing leader is under pressure, they're spending money on budgets, and they need to cut that because they look at it and they say, well, it's not working. So you need to be persistent. And the second thing is this: no one can convert blog traffic into leads. And I'm going to show you how we do that. So this is from, you guys are the first guys to start to see stats like this. So this is from our annual report that we do. It's an inbound marketing survey. It's not yet been released. It's our biggest report we're ever going to do this year. We've surveyed over 4,000 marketers, and we've segmented a cut for just tech. So this is the first time we've shown any of this data. And this kind of this shows that 55% of marketers in tech think that the blog is an important asset. 19% think that it's somewhat important. So 74% of marketers in tech are saying that their blog is an important part of their marketing strategy. So they are finding value from it. And just to recap in this section, if there's any takeaway that I would give from inbound marketing, is start figuring out what marketing assets are you building for your audience versus just renting that attention. And I think that's really the key to building that publishing mindset and making yourself a brand, a company, a service that people really want to consume. So the next thing a great inbound marketer can do is turn that traffic into qualified leads. And they do that by creating what we call valuable offers. So you want to create offers that people find so valuable that they'll literally queue up. So we've broken the Guinness World Record for most people on a webinar. We've had 10,000 people on a webinar. Our ebooks get downloaded 50,000-60,000 times. 50,000-60,000 downloads on average when we do global sends. And the reason for that is it's not because we're doing anything unique. We don't have any special sauce. We just put incredible amounts of effort in producing something of value for our personas. And it's that simple. There's nothing overly complex about this. So this is one of my favorite offers. It's one of my favorite examples, and this is what I'm talking about. This is our State of Inbound Marketing report. And I've worked in SaaS, so I've worked on my marketing for 6 years. I've worked in SaaS for 3.5 years. I used to work for Salesforce. I used to work for one of HubSpot's competitors, Marketo. And I used to always download this to figure out what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong as a marketer, where's the industry going, how is it trending. So this was valuable to me as a marketer before I even joined HubSpot. This is one of the core reasons I wanted to join HubSpot. That's how powerful some of these offers are. So this is a survey we do of hundreds and hundreds of marketers that allows us to benchmark the whole industry across a range of data points. So marketers can figure out if they're doing the right or wrong things and what they should be doing for the coming year. 2013 is going to be our biggest year. We're splitting that data out between Europe and US for the first time. So a US marketer can look at themselves and say, I'm doing a great job compared to a European marketer or vice versa. And we really treat this like a mini product launch. So we have a development team, we have a research team, we have a promotional team. And I get that not every company has those resources, and HubSpot used to not have those resources. No, we used to be 2 guys in a garage company. So it's just trying to figure out what kind of resources you can dedicate to your own offers to make them really, really valuable. And the other thing this is a great example of, that's going to be a big, big thing over the next year as more and more people switch on the Veenendaal marketing machine produce content, is database content. What data do you have to make your content relevant, unique, difficult to replicate? So if you think about this piece, we're surveying marketers, so we're getting external data, but we're also pulling in our customer data to figure out what data, how they're performing in inbound marketing versus the people that we're surveying. So what kind of data do you have in your company that allows you to produce reports, allows you to produce content that's going to be really difficult for other people to replicate? And these pieces are really time intensive. So database content is the most time intensive to do. So not every offer needs to be like this. So when you do something great, you want to make turn it into a big campaign. So if you think about our launch for the state of inbound marketing, we'll have a single report. It will be a big promotional push around a single report, but then we'll segment it by countries. Then we'll segment it by industry types, and it's all mapped to the different personas we have. It's all of interest to those people. Then we'll repurpose it into a webinar. We maybe get some experts on that webinar to talk about what their take is on the different data points. We'll maybe turn that webinar into something more visual and put it on SlideShare. So if you have presentations, and you can make them a little bit more visual, and they tend to work well on SlideShare. And then we'll extract data points and do blog posts around them and tell our audience, what does this data mean? How do you make it actionable? Why is this important for you to listen to? So again, try to take a piece of content and turn it into a campaign, replicate it in lots of different ways, and that way it's less resource intensive. And the next thing, so if you've got all these marketing assets producing lots and lots of traffic, and you have offers that you want to get people to download, on HubSpot we create clear conversion paths, so we have call to actions throughout high traffic places on our sites to kind of funnel people towards these offers that live on the landing page. And our landing pages typically convert between 30 to 40%. So if you take the industry benchmark, that's really high, and it's high for 2 reasons. We split test the hell out of our landing pages, our templates, and we try to figure out what landing pages work. Where should we put this button? What color should the button be? Where should the text be? How should we use pictures? So we're kind of anal about that kind of stuff. We optimize the hell out of it. But again, when it comes back to value, if you have a huge amount of value in an offer, and you know your persona, then it's going to get a real high download percentage. Now, when you have these kind of valuable offers, that's when you can go out and kind of shout about yourself on Twitter and all these different social channels. So no one really likes a self-promoter on social. No one likes someone who just shouts about themselves. But if you're offering something of value, it's usually a great time to go out there and shout about yourself a little bit. Okay, so we can go through this. So if you have killer marketing assets, really great offers, really good conversion paths, you're definitely going to get more traffic, leads, and customers for your business. And plus, think again that you own all these assets. They don't. If someone comes to you, cuts your budget, they don't just go away. You've got this audience. This is an audience for your brand. That's leverage. That's an asset that's building actual value for your business. So. The next thing you want to think about is how do you do context in your marketing. So how do you personalize that marketing experience right through the funnel for your different personas. So think about Facebook, think about Amazon, think about Spotify, which is one of my favorites. When I'm on Spotify, I see things that I want to listen to because they've tailored the experience around who I am as a person. And if we take quickly Amazon as an example, so Amazon is like a context marketing machine. Amazon is one of the companies I just think is one of the best marketing companies online. They've really practiced. They've built algorithms to figure out who you are as a person and how to market to you. So this is Dharmesh. Dharmesh is co-founder of HubSpot. He's a really well-known entrepreneur, really smart guy, and a self-professed geek. So He's also recently had a child. So when Dharmesh is on Amazon, he sees two things. He sees books around how to code in Python, and he sees books in childcare. When Brian Halligan's on Amazon, he sees something totally different. He's our other co-founder, but Brian likes Grateful Dead, and he's done marketing books on the Grateful Dead. I don't know anything about him. He likes Boston Red Sox, and he likes venture capitalism. So when Brian is on Amazon, he sees something totally different. So Amazon doesn't know these two guys, it hasn't gone on dinner dates with them, but it knows how to market to them. It understands how they're different. And that's what we need to do as marketers. There's no one-size-fits-all marketing strategy for all of your different buyer personas. So we need to figure out how we get better at creating individualized marketing strategies around your personas. So I'm going to run through this couple of slides because I'm running out of time. I just stuck myself on here because I wanted to feel really important, like Brian and Dharmesh. So this is kind of what I see in Spotify and what I see in Amazon. We'll run through this. So a couple of the ways that we use context in our own marketing to kind of drive the results that we have. So when you're reading a blog post on HubSpot, we figure out what topics you're interested in. So if you're reading a blog post that kind of indicates you're interested in enterprise marketing, the offer you will see will be tailored to that. You're going to read something on closed loop marketing, inbound marketing in the new purchase cycle or the new purchase loop. And the next thing you see as an offer is, hey, we see you're reading this content on enterprise marketing. Maybe you like the executive guide to enterprise marketing. And a lot more people are going to say yes because it's tailored around who they are, the type of interest they have. And that's why we get 10 to 20% conversion from our blog. That's why we get actual business value from our blog. We convert blog traffic into leads. That's because we just don't offer generic, we just don't give generic offers to everyone. We actually tailor it to what they're reading. We try to figure out where you are in the purchase cycle. So if you've already seen this offer, then we won't show you it again. We'll actually offer you something like a demo, a trial, a webinar. We'll try to push you further down the funnel. Because we figure that you've already read about HubSpot, you know a little bit about us, you know a little bit about our solutions, so maybe you're ready to commit a little bit more of your time. We also try to ask the right questions at the right time, and this is something we're trying to get better at. So if you visit us to download a piece of content on your first time you visit us to download a piece of content, we might ask you a bunch of questions because we're trying to build up what we call a 360-degree view of the contact so we can better market to them, so we're trying to collect information. But if you've already downloaded that piece of content, then we might just ask you one further question just to get a little bit more information. So again, we're trying to ask you the right questions at the right time. And then if you think about what we're doing, you've come in for a blog post, we've tailored the offer, we've tried to ask you the right questions at the right time, and then you get put into our email lead nurture tracks. And we split those lead nurture tracks up in a lot of different ways. So if you're reading about traffic, leads, or customers, we try to segment you into lead nurture tracks specifically about that. And let me fly through this. This is the easiest thing to do. We personalize our emails. So personalized emails get a 14% higher click-through rate than generic emails. So this is a no-brainer for companies to do. And the next thing is data-driven. So I'm going to get through this in 1 minute. So be prepared for me to talk quite quickly. This is an interesting stat from the same report for tech companies. So what's the biggest marketing challenge tech companies have? And not surprisingly, we can't measure marketing. Again, it comes back to marketing is seen as a department that kind of just spend money and we don't really know what the ROI is. So an inbound marketer should be able to really be data focused and be able to tell senior execs what kind of ROI they're driving for their brand. So they should know the whole funnel, they should know the different conversion points between the funnel, they should know the different conversion rates right through each life cycle stage. Because a good inbound marketer can go, okay, I see that the conversion rate sucks between prospects and opportunities. I can improve that experience for this persona, and I can improve my close rates. And that's a really important thing to be able to do because this can sometimes impact, if you've ever done lead flow modeling, being able to improve your close rates sometimes gets a better impact for your brand than actually being able to double your lead growth. So don't just look at lead growth, look at the whole funnel, look at close rates. This is something that's really important for B2B tech companies to do, is figure out what are the dollar value of your different lead types. So in HubSpot, we know how well a demo closes. We know what the average order price is, so we can work back, figure out the dollar sign of our demo and all the different leads, and then carry a quota the same as the sales guys do. So we can figure out how many leads we need to generate for the sales guys that hit their quota. And then we can measure our marketing team like this. This is our service level agreement. This is what we live our life by in HubSpot. This lets me know if I'm trending above or below the line. And I look at this every month to make sure that my team is going to hit our target. And if it's not, if I'm here pulling my hair out at the bottom where it sucks, then I can do something about it. I can introduce a campaign to get myself to a trend above that number. And this is the final. So inbound marketing really works for tech. 63% of companies in tech have said that they're going to increase their inbound marketing. 21% said it's no change. Only 7% of people are saying they're actually going to decrease their spend on inbound marketing. The type of leads that tech companies find important in inbound marketing: blogs, social, SEO, email, all the type of things that inbound marketing drive. So these are the leads that are important. Trade shows, all that outbound stuff is getting less and less important for tech companies. And then just keep in mind, we are a tech company. We sell software. We're a B2B tech company. We've managed to do this. We've increased our traffic to our core site to about 12 million visits last year. We have a blog that does 9 million visits. This is a B2B software company, traditionally not seen as an exciting company. Our customers have generated, I think 93% of our customers have increased their leads, 30% doubled their lead flow within 12 months of using HubSpot. And our contacts, our customers have generated a shitload of inbound leads, over 46 million since doing this. So, apologies for the jumpy slides. I had no idea what was going on there. And that's me. Thank you very much.